a direct update for all signs. If you'd like to skip ahead to your sign, then just click on the timestamp at the bottom of this video. Otherwise, go ahead and listen to the intro. So, Jupiter goes direct, woohoo, on the 9th of June, and that's at 13 degrees of Libra. And this is a very powerful day. We have been, a lot of us, reviewing our relationships and our partnerships. Jupiter being in Libra is asking us to look at our partnerships, asking us to look at how we interact with others and to develop a better understanding of what it means to be in partnership with people, whether that be in business, romantic, or even just friendships and family relationships. So, you know, this really has been a year of relationship in some ways, especially with Venus going retrograde earlier this year. We've been looking so much at love and the significant others in our lives, or the lack of significant other in our lives. Now, on this day, on the 9th, we also have a full moon in Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So this is a very powerful Sagittarian day, very powerful Jupiterian day. And for those of us who would like to have a spiritual experience of some kind, a more mystical experience of some kind, this is a very powerful day for that. You could receive quite beautiful insights and download quite amazing spiritual and mental concepts that perhaps you wouldn't normally have access to on this day. If you're not so much of that nature, then this is a great day for seeing the bigger picture, for seeing the long range goal quite clearly and being able to see how you want to progress. Going back to Jupiter in Libra, like I said, we're being asked to look at our partnerships. And so with Jupiter retrograde, and it's been retrograde since early February, there has been perhaps not the growth we've wanted in terms of outward movement. We've probably felt like progress has been somewhat halted, and this has really been a time of reviewing and reflecting more than anything. And this is not just in terms of partnerships, you know, this can be in terms of business, wherever it is that Jupiter is transiting your chart. But this area of life for you will have been under review, and somehow partnerships, relationships would have been brought into the mix with this as well. For those who are single and perhaps had even given up on the idea of love and finding the right person for them, perhaps this Jupiter retrograde period has enabled you to get to the truth of what it is that you want in partnership and what it is that for you constitutes a relationship that is balanced, that is fair, that promotes growth and adventure and expansion. Perhaps you've managed to understand, maybe by reflecting on past relationships, you've managed to finally pinpoint exactly what it is you're looking for a partner, and this in turn might actually give you a change of heart as Jupiter goes direct and a feeling of optimism that now I know what I want, now I know the truth of really what suits me as a person and what I want in partnership. I'm able to be open to finding that person. So there could be a change of heart for those who are single and an increase in optimism. Jupiter stays in Libra until the 10th of October. And after that it goes into Scorpio, and this is interesting because Jupiter being in Libra, like I said, this is about win-win situations in partnership. This is about diplomacy. Even if you're not in partnership and you're focusing very much on business, this is about diplomacy. This is about being fair and high-minded and working together and collaborating. And it's about understanding others, understanding their perspective, understanding their point of view. And I find this really interesting, and I think it's really lovely because as then it leads us into Scorpio after the 10th, or on the 10th of October, then what happens is we take partnership and relationship to an even deeper level. Scorpio is intense. Scorpio is concerned with truth. It's concerned with getting to the bottom of things. Jupiter too is concerned with the truth. So these two things put together, the Scorpio being a water sign, we're going from Libra, which is about being balanced, being fair, putting ourselves in others' shoes, seeing their perspective, and then we go into Scorpio where it gets more intense, and then it becomes about emotional intimacy. It becomes about intimacy with ourselves and intimacy with others, allowing ourselves to really be seen for who we are and connecting to our own feelings of passion, connecting to our desires and expressing them and being bold enough to show them to the world. So I really like the way that Jupiter is leading us in relationship, in partnership, quite gently into a much more intense and intimate sense of knowing ourselves and knowing others. So I think that's really, really lovely. For those of you who are in professions related to legalities or counselling or mediating or beauty or social justice, psychology, you might have felt like business had been a bit slow. It might have felt like there were a lot of things to review. Maybe you had to take a step back, look at the big picture, look at where you want to be in the long run, and then, you know, replan in order to get there. So it might have felt as if progress has been a bit halted. Now you should start to see the pace pick up. You should start to see some growth. You should start to see some expansion. I mean, this is true for everybody, but specifically if you work in those areas, because those are Libra type professions. If you work in those areas, you should see that Jupiter energy, that positive, expansive energy should really start to inject your business or your company, the company that you work for, with a bit of positive energy and start to pick up the pace after a period of review and perhaps a few delays. So thank you so much for watching the introduction, and now onto the readings for each sign. Hello Aries, Jupiter now going direct until the 10th of October in your 7th house. You have likely been considering your close partnerships, especially if you have a significant other, and perhaps you've been looking at how you manage things together, how you communicate, how balanced your relationship is. Perhaps you've been looking at how balanced your love life and your work life are as well. And so there's been some reviewing, and there's been some kind of looking over things, and perhaps seeing where maybe one is given more than the other, or seeing where things could be more equal, more fair. And now with Jupiter moving forward, this really is a case of moving forward in partnership. This is a case of making plans, thinking about the long term, and benefiting together through the work that you put in now. This is a great time for negotiating as well. Your diplomatic skills can be used to great effect to get the results that you want. But certainly the emphasis is on partnerships, be they business partnerships or romantic partnerships, partnerships with a significant other. You might find that you're traveling or even going through some form of higher education with a significant other, or that their presence in your life somehow supports you going and training for something or getting more education. This is something that can affect it, because these are very Jupiter Sagittarian kind of things. For those of you who are single, you might be finding that you're wanting to experiment and maybe date someone of a very different cultural background to what you're used to. You might find that whilst traveling you come across somebody who's really exciting and who you could perhaps see a good future with, full of growth and adventure. On the flip side of that, it could be that the partners that you meet at the moment just seem too freedom loving and don't really want to be tied down. Jupiter is very freedom loving, so there could be that element to it. But otherwise, you know, there's an opportunity for a relationship to begin now for you single Aries out there. There's an opportunity for relationships that begin right now to be relationships that are based on mutual respect and understanding and growth, as well as a sense of freedom, which is really lovely. This is a great time as well. It's favourable if you want to get married, if you want to enter into any sort of partnership, any business partnership as well. So all of these things, you know, it's all very partnership related. We're in Libra after all, but this is where a lot of your luck comes from. You'll probably be finding that people are wanting to support you more as well, especially as we move towards the end of August. People are likely to show up who have common goals, common interests as yours. They could facilitate further education or further training or some sort of experience, just you know, by coming into your life. So that's an interesting one to watch out for. All in all, the rest of this transit should be quite enjoyable, and you should really feel a sense of balance in your relationships, hopefully. And you know, you'll be keenly aware of what's fair and of having both parties feeling satisfied within the relationship. The only thing I would say to watch out for is that there could be a bit of a tussle between work and relationships, and just trying to get that balance right could be a bit tricky at times. Hi Taurus, Jupiter is now going direct in your sixth house of health and service and co-workers, day-to-day habits, pets, details. And this is generally very positive. This is a time when, especially if you're employed, you might find that you gain a lot of support from your co-workers and that it's quite harmonious. You might get quite a lot of joy from your work as well. And I mean, if you're not employed, if you're self-employed, maybe there's something of service, or maybe the service that you do give is something you're going to start taking a lot of joy in. But service is very much favoured here. And being direct, being honest, having integrity in the work that you do is likely to see you getting rewarded. Details as well. This is a time when you're likely to be focusing on details, able to focus on details, maybe better than other times, able to focus on details and iron out any kinks that might be there. Just be careful of feeling overwhelmed, because Jupiter tends to expand what it touches, and there could be a feeling of feeling slightly overwhelmed by having so many tasks and details to take care of. So just be aware of that, because that could in turn then affect your health. But all in all, this is a really great time for tying up loose ends, getting on with things, getting the day-to-day done, and really putting your best foot forward in terms of your work sphere and cooperating with others. And not to say you don't usually, Taurus, but cooperating with others and really feeling a sense of optimism and positivity through being of service. Your health as well is likely to be quite good at this time, as long as you don't get overwhelmed. The health is likely to be good. Any procedures, any medical procedures that need to be done, this is a good time to do them, because it's likely to go better with Jupiter direct now in your 6th house. Anything that may have been some sort of vague health issue or mysterious health issue that you couldn't get to the bottom of, you might get some insight into now. But certainly this is a great time for getting organised and putting everything in its rightful place. But just, like I said, be wary of going overboard in terms of your health. Don't push your workout schedule, or don't push too hard when you're working out. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it with work. Remember, it's just as important to take time off. Hi Gemini, what a fun place to have Jupiter going direct in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, children and self-expression. Now, perhaps over the last 5 months you have been reviewing what you do for pleasure. Maybe the old things that used to work for you don't quite do it anymore. Perhaps you've had too much on to be able to go out there and have as much fun as you wanted. Well, now Jupiter is moving direct, and whatever it is you've been working with, whatever it is you've been working through, now that positivity comes back, and that socializing and all of that good stuff starts to come back. There's a real sense of optimism, friendliness and humour that now comes into your social life. You're likely to want to create more, express more, and you might pick up new hobbies and you might try different things in order to kind of find new ways of expressing yourself, maybe something creative, which could possibly even turn into some little sideline income, but you'll do it for the joy of it more than anything else. This is really about getting in touch with your inner child and having fun. Those of you who are single, it's very likely that the dating life and the people that you meet, you know, you'll share a lot of humour, there'll be a lot of laughter, they're likely to be quite interesting, they can be quite inspiring. They could be from foreign countries or from different backgrounds or just different to the people you've normally dated. And those of you in existing relationships, this is a lovely time to have the humour and the joy and the fun and the playfulness come back into your relationship. That Jupiter here can bring that back. And if you have children as well, you know, you're likely to really enjoy spending your time with them. Not saying you don't anyway, but you're just on a much deeper level. Maybe you feel freer to do so, and so that enables you to really let loose, let your head down, and enjoy your time with your children, and that's really lovely. But all in all, this transit is asking you to express yourself and get in touch with what makes you happy. Get in touch with your inner child, be creative, be expressive, share that love and that optimism. Gemini, you're a social sign anyway, so this isn't exactly hard for you. As far as career is concerned, those of you who are related in anything to do with children or speculative kind of gambling related careers, anything where you have to take maybe some financial risk, these areas are highlighted at the moment. So artists could do quite well, creatives in general, you could find yourself doing quite well and getting a boost in terms of your clientele, your customer base. Like I said, if you work with children, this could be a really lovely, rewarding time. It could be some sort of promotion as well. And if you play the markets, anything like that, taking a financial risk, providing you have the means to do so, of course, could possibly pay off at this time. So this is with you until the 10th of October. Then Jupiter moves into Scorpio and we'll be looking at things becoming a lot more intense, a lot deeper, and this will be in your 6th house, so this will be interesting. This might bring about a commitment, a very deep commitment to service, to work, but we'll get there when we get there. Hi Cancer. So this is all about home for you, and the last 5 months have probably been a little bit strange on the home front, in the sense that perhaps there's been some sort of held back feeling at home. It could be that home improvements didn't go ahead as intended, or you've been looking for a property and the right one hasn't come up, or just something in the home not sitting quite right, not feeling quite right. Something needed to be looked at, needed to be reviewed. Now Jupiter's going to start moving forward, and this is going to be great because, you know, Cancer, you are a very nurturing sign. You're connected to home, you're connected to family, very much so. And so, you know, obviously we all are, but you even more so. It's very much about home, family and nurturing. And so it's important for you that home life feels good. Now you get an opportunity to make it so. And this is kind of a nest feathering period. This is a period where you're going to want to beautify the home, you're going to want to renovate. You might find the ideal property if you've been struggling to find the right property for a while. Now from the 9th of June to the 10th of October, there's a window of opportunity where you might just find the perfect fit for you. Like I said, you might be beautifying the home, but certainly domestic and personal affairs are very important to you now. And it's from here that you get your feeling of security and your feeling of stability. Anything to do, any issues with family as well, these can be ironed out now. This is a great time for resolving any conflicts or any misunderstandings with family members. This can also be a really good time for purging any emotional baggage that's been held on to for too long, you know, any emotional baggage from the past, that might relate to the family of origin. This is a great time to release that, because now, Cancer, you're starting to become more secure within yourself, and also on a literal sense as well. And this is a good time for psychology, for therapy, any kind of purging and cleaning out. You know, think about a big spring clean of the mind, of the emotions, and even of the home, literally. You'll find those all beneficial. Sorry. As well as this could also see some of you starting businesses working from home, or maybe starting businesses that are somehow home related, perhaps investing in new property, anything connected to the home is quite favoured now. And those of you who already work from home, you might find that your business gets a considerable boost, and that you're able to see how to grow and expand your business, and where to take it, and you know, think about the long run. You know, Jupiter is all about the big picture, so you're thinking about the big picture and what you can do to take your work and your business to the level that you want it to be at. At the same time, you know, as far as partnerships are concerned, like I said, it's mainly about home environment, it's about family environment. And so with your partner, you might be working together to beautify the home. You might be working together to save up to invest in property. Certainly this favours working as a partnership, and even business partnership, you know, and investing in things to do with the home. But just be careful, because you're so on one level concerned with home security and personal life. Just be aware that you have your duties and your obligations in terms of work and the world out there, and try not to let anything personal overshadow your duties and responsibilities. There can be a tendency with this transit for us to not really want to live up to our duties and obligations. You know, we'd rather just be at home and just be with our loved ones, and you know, and personal affairs can kind of take over. But just remember that, you know, you've got to keep everything running. Try and keep it as balanced as you can. That's what Libra is all about, isn't it? It's about balance. So all in all, they're really lovely aspect. And this is with you until the 10th of October. So enjoy, Cancer. Hi, Leo. Jupiter going direct now in your 3rd house. This sees you being very lively, very awake on the mental level, very sharp, and wanting to communicate, and communicate quite buoyantly as well with people. This might see you very busy, out and about with daily tasks, in your neighbourhood a lot, communicating with siblings, just generally quite busy, but enjoying things. You're like, at the same time, with Jupiter here, you know, there's an ability to be able to see very clearly the bigger picture. There's an ability to be able to break complex or seemingly complex matters down so that they're very understandable, and communicate them as such. So your mind is very sharp at the moment, and you're able to understand and take in a lot of information, which is fantastic, especially if you're a student. This is a fantastic and really supportive time. You know, you can really take in an awful lot of information, and probably enjoy doing so too. Teachers, anybody who teaches and writes, you know, authors, anything like that, anyone who's involved in publishing, this is a very favourable time for you. You'll be feeling very creative in how you approach things, and you might see that you're being honoured in some sort of way, or your skills and your talents have really been recognised in the workplace. So that's really nice. And if you work in travel as well, this can also be a boost to the recognition that you get. For those of you who have perhaps been going through difficulties with siblings, because, you know, Jupiter was retrograde, and there might have been some kind of strain on sibling relationships, and perhaps especially if you've had difficulties in the past, and, you know, you were hoping to repair things, then maybe things are kind of maybe it's taking longer to heal than you thought it would need initially. Now it should be a time where hopefully you can start to move forward and build some bridges. what Jupiter touches, it expands. So any tension between siblings is likely to get expanded so that it has to be looked at, so that it can be put to bed for once and for all. So in that sense, it's positive if you find the positive in it. There can be a tendency sometimes to become overwhelmed with Jupiter here because you've got so much to do and you're rushing about so much. There can be a tendency to a bit of exaggeration, but these are relatively small things. Obviously, you know, just watch out for things like misrepresentation and maybe being misunderstood. Make sure communication is as clear as possible, because Jupiter likes to exaggerate, likes to blow things up and sometimes give a picture that isn't necessarily totally accurate. So just be aware and make sure that you're presenting yourself as truthfully and accurately as possible. Going back to sibling relationships, like I said, you know, if you've been experiencing any tension there, this is a time when this can be healed, and there can be forward movement and mutual growth and an understanding of each other's needs and each other's feelings as well, with Jupiter going direct here. As I said, this is likely to see you very busy, and being busy is actually quite favoured. Being around friends, communicating, sending emails, being in your neighbourhood, you might find that luck comes to you just by going about your daily tasks, and in your busyness you might find that you receive unexpected gifts or even just compliments or opportunities to travel, opportunities to expand, to grow, to learn. Something like that. You might even win a car or something, because this area does rule the automotive industry. So, you know, also if you work in that, you might see a bit of a boost in sales. But yeah, you could win a car or something like that. Or you might be thinking of purchasing a car, or getting a new car to make things easier for you in your day-to-day tasks. And, you know, this is likely to be brought about through your partnerships. For those of you who are partnered, you know, your routine and what you do on a day-to-day basis is very much going to be about, it's going to be a case of, well, how can I make life easier for the both of us? What can we both do? How can we work together to make sure that everything is taken care of? So you're thinking in terms of partnership, but you're feeling quite buoyant and you're coming across really well. People are enjoying talking to you and listening to you, Leo. So if you have any presentations or anything like that to make, this is a great time for it, and you could really be seen as a mentor and as an authority in whatever area of skill in your area, in your particular area of skill. Thank you, Leo. Hi, Virgo. During this Jupiter retrograde period, you might have been looking at issues of abundance, issues of self-worth, issues of money, and how you feel about it all. You know, are you comfortable with the living that you make? Do you feel you should be commanding more, earning more? If you're self-employed, how do you value your work? How do you value your worth? So things like this could have come up for you to look at, and hopefully you've been able to kind of get to the bottom of any underlying issues. Quite often, you know, when we find that we're not experiencing the abundance we want, it's because really there is an energetic and emotional feeling of lack or feeling of unworthiness. It starts there and then obviously translates out into the material world. So maybe you've realised this and it's given you an opportunity to look within and heal some things in relation to self-worth and abundance and prosperity. So now though, on the 9th of June, Jupiter moves forward. Thank goodness. And we're all going to be experiencing a lot more abundance, a lot more optimism, a lot more growth on the physical and material level. And for you, this is very much connected to your resources. This is very much connected to your money. There's opportunity for you to build your wealth, and you're interested in doing that. You're looking at, how can I build my wealth? How can I create that security and stability for myself? Those of you who are self-employed might be looking at how you can, what new channels you can take your business down in order to grow its profitability. Things like that. And I have a feeling as well that home is going to affect your finances. And what I mean by this is Saturn is in Sagittarius now. and this rules your 4th house. So Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius, there's this flavour of home in this whole kind of money and abundance thing right now. So whether it's that you want to earn more money so that you can buy a property, you want to earn more money so you can beautify your home, or whether it's a case of you need to feel supported at home in order to make the money that you want to make. You know, we all need a solid foundation from which to work. So it might be that you're looking to your home environment to be supportive, to be peaceful, and to be positive, so that you feel you can go out there and focus on your business, focus on your work, whatever it is, and earn the money you want. Watch out during this period for overspending. This is the big one. There can be a tendency to, because Jupiter is such an optimistic planet, and it's expansive and it wants to just enjoy and grow, there can be a tendency to borrow from the future. There can be a tendency to go overboard with spending, with investing. Watch out for this. Really, the main aspects that suggest this type of behaviour have passed. So really, you know, we should be in a rather good period now. But this is a great time for managing your financial affairs, getting a handle on them. This will benefit you because remember, Jupiter is in your 2nd house, but it's in Libra as well. So this means this is about being fair. This is about being it's about being above board. It's about being balanced. So if you apply this to your finances, you know, take a balanced approach, take a fair approach, not just to others, but also to yourself. Make sure things are fair. Speaking of others, Libra, of course, rules one-to-one relationships, one-on-one relationships, should I say. So there can be opportunities to invest with a partner. There can be wealth that comes through a partner. Certainly opportunities to grow and to build in terms of your resources. Just be careful about any imbalances there. Anybody being overzealous, anybody being greedy, taking too much, wanting too much, feeling like they're entitled to a partner's money. That's something to watch out for. That's kind of the darker side of this. But really, if you manage this transit and try not to splurge and try to invest wisely, this is a time when you could really grow your income, and you should be feeling a lot better now. You should be feeling quite confident in your earning ability, in the price you can command for your services, or perhaps now you're thinking about asking for a promotion. This would be a good time to do it. And especially during the latter part of August, when Saturn sextiles Sagittarius, crystallizing and locking in and giving a firm foundation to your money matters, to that financial house, and also to your house of home, if that makes sense. So this is going to crystallize those matters. So if you are looking for a promotion or to go up a pay grade, then late August might be the time to approach that and get it locked in. So thank you so much for watching, Virgo, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, Libra. Jupiter in your sign going direct, so this is time now for you to get out there. You should be feeling optimistic after reviewing some very personal things about yourself, the way you relate, the way others see you, how you show up in your relationships, and examining these. Now it's time to get back out there, and for those of you who have been wanting to get on the dating scene, now is a really good time to do that. You'll be feeling magnanimous and you'll be feeling quite open and friendly to everyone. I mean, Libra is such a sociable sign anyway, but this will really give you some oomph. You'll be also wanting to travel and explore. Travel is very favoured, so if you can do that, I would recommend that. And anything that takes you out of your comfort zone, anything which enables you to grow and to perhaps even see new parts of yourself that you've not experienced before, you know. So it's really about getting out there and being adventurous. And remember, you know, although you're feeling very optimistic, you might be feeling a bit larger than life, just remember, it's all about partnerships, relating, diplomacy, tact and harmony. I know you're very good at that. What I would say is there's a danger to overdo with Jupiter being direct now in your sign. There can be a danger to we can be susceptible to overeating and maybe coming on a little bit too strong. So just watch out for that. But I know you're great at maintaining harmony and diplomacy, so you should be fine. But this is a period to really grow and enjoy in terms of work and expansion in that area. If you want a promotion, now's a good time to ask for it. You will be favoured, and higher ups are likely to notice you and to want to be on your side. Legal matters should work out in your favour. It's generally a really positive time, so make the most of it, Libra. This is with you until the 10th of October. In late August, we have a Saturn sextile Jupiter aspect. And this is really nice because this helps to crystallize some things and concrete some things. So if there's anything that perhaps you've been exploring that you really want to make a part of yourself, maybe a part of your identity that you've been experimenting with, that now you want to really claim as your own, there's going to be a time to crystallize that, or crystallize anything really that you've been putting in practice and putting, you know, testing out basically. So all in all, a really, really nice time. Hi Scorpio, Jupiter is direct in your 12th house until the 10th of October. And this is a quiet house, this is a more hidden house. And this rules dreams, so you're quite an intuitive sign anyway, and quite a deep sign, very deep sign, the deepest of all. And with Jupiter in your 12th house, dreams may really take on a larger than life kind of imagery. It could be being like watching a movie or being in a movie, you know, and there could be some amazing insights and some quite profound intuitions and messages that come from spirit guides, that come through your dreams, some premonitions. You could wake up with a genius idea as a result of a dream. Jupiter being here is also about good karma. It's about karma, but this could be good karma coming back to you. Perhaps something that you did a long time ago, or maybe you treated somebody really well without really thinking about it. Perhaps it was just somebody random on the street and they'd lost something, or something had happened and you just helped them out, and perhaps that karma comes back to somehow return to you. This can be a time of reaping those rewards and reaping benefits from the more hidden aspects of life. So your intuition and your dreams, your spirit guides from the cosmos, you know, it's a more hidden kind of luck, but it certainly is there with you. There can be flashes of insight that, or ideas that could come to you that could actually turn out to be maybe something quite profitable and something you could make money out of. Do you have a talent? A hidden talent, maybe one that you're yet to discover? This could come out now. Or is there a talent that you're aware of that you just haven't been sharing with the world? Maybe now's the time to experiment with that and be bold with that and put it out there, and you might find that it's received really well. But this is certainly a time of your inner spiritual world becoming a lot more technicolor, becoming a lot bigger, and perhaps even more important to you than it's ever been. And it's a beautiful time to explore this and just feel very connected. So meditation and spiritual practices, or even like anything artistic, anything you do on your own, you might get a lot of value out of, and it might give you a real appreciation and kind of like a sense of just how abundant the universe is, and just how abundant Source, Great Spirit is, and how that love and that connection is everywhere. And you might really feel that in moments when you're on your own. So this is a really lovely energy, and it's obviously not as outwardly active. This is more of an internal and private energy, but still it's really lovely, and this is preparing you for when Jupiter then goes into your sign in October. So I mean, that will be a fantastic period for you But enjoy this one, enjoy the gifts that it gives you. And it might be the kinds of gifts that leave you with a smile on your face and nobody really knows why, that kind of thing. Enjoy, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius. Jupiter is going direct in your 11th house of networking, groups and associations you might belong to, also the house of dreams and wishes. So now is a great time, now until the 10th of October is a really great time for you to be getting out there. And if you run your own company, if you're self-employed, you might have taken the last 5 months to re-strategize. Maybe there have been a few doubts. Maybe you doubted yourself and you've had a few little mini crises as to, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Is this going to be received well? Well, hopefully you've found whatever lessons you needed to in those. And now with Jupiter going direct, you've got that optimism returning and that faith in yourself and in what you're doing returning. And so now is the time to really get out there, social networking and spreading the word about whatever services you offer. If you're employed, this is also a great time with colleagues. You know, you should get on better with your colleagues and relate to them better. And you'll probably be quite concerned with things being fair in the workplace and between colleagues. So this is really a time of putting yourself out there, of expansion and of meeting new groups of people. What's interesting is we've got Saturn in your sign, and Saturn is a natural ruler of the 11th house. Saturn rules Aquarius. So Saturn being in your sign, there's been a lot, you've been working on yourself a lot and really discarding the bits of you that you just don't need anymore. Saturn takes about 30 years to make this the transit round all of the houses. And so, you know, this has been a long time coming. This is a huge, major transit. It can be quite life-changing, and it is for many people. So you have been gradually coming to terms with what works for you and what doesn't. And with that, you might have found that you've left quite a few social groups behind, quite a few friendship groups behind. There might have been some pain involved with that. Well, now with Jupiter going direct in your 11th house, you'll be feeling more like, actually, you know, I know who I am now as a result of what I've been through. And because I know who I am, I now know what kinds of people I want around me. So you'll probably be feeling quite confident in associating with the people that actually suit who you are now. There could be some foreign travel to see friends. You would probably have a really lovely time if you were to go traveling and meet a lot of people who'd be quite like-minded and that you probably enjoy your time with. It's a great time for collaborating on anything as well. And like I said, if you own your own business, as so many people are starting to do, you know, so many people are entrepreneurs now and are self-employed, this is really a great time to be promoting that. But promote it if you can in a way that is a win-win for both your consumer and for you. This isn't about hard selling. This isn't about duping anyone. This isn't about overcharging. This is about seeing the value in what you have to offer and showing that value to your potential clients, consumers, customers, and making sure that you both come away from whatever transaction or interaction feeling happy and satisfied. Like I said, this is about a win-win. You have to put yourself in the customer's shoes, and this really will serve you well if you are in business for yourself. Put yourself in your customer or client or consumer's shoes and think about what it is they care about, what it is they would want. Incorporate that into your business, and I think you should see quite a lot of growth. In late August, we have a really supportive Saturn sextile Jupiter, and this helps just to make things more concrete, to crystallize them. So with any hopes, dreams that you've had, now perhaps there's an opportunity for you to really crystallize your plans. It could even be the crystallizing of a friendship. If you've met some people who you really like and you really get on with, it could be that a moment just happens which really shows you that yes, this is a true friend, and really builds some solidarity between you. So that's a really lovely aspect that can be taken advantage of in late August, Sagittarius. Hi Capricorn. For you, Jupiter is going direct in your 10th house, and perhaps there have been some delays. Perhaps you've been wondering about your career, whether you're in the right career, whether you're doing the right thing. And perhaps there was a little bit of faith lacking for a while. Well, now you have a clear sense of where you want to go, and you're able to shoot that arrow as the Sagittarian does and head for that future goal. So with Jupiter going direct here, there is growth in relation to career matters and what the work you do in the world. There could be opportunities for some sort of promotion. There could be opportunities for learning through on the job in ways that could lead to a pay rise or a better position. There could also be opportunities to travel with work as well. Higher ups are likely to be quite supportive of you and to notice you and to encourage your growth. If you're self-employed, this is also about ways to expand what you do, ways to perhaps even reach a larger audience, perhaps go international, that type of thing. What can you do to grow your business? This is favored now. Remember that Jupiter is in Libra, so this isn't just about getting ahead. This isn't just about doing what it takes no matter what. This is Libra after all. You know, this is about fairness, it's about cooperation, as I mentioned in the intro of this video. So you will do best by showing yourself to be the one that is high-minded, that is fair, that is diplomatic, especially if you work for a company. By showing yourself to be honest, above board and cooperative, that's how you'll get the most out of your work. And if you're self-employed or you own your own business, caring about your consumers, your customers, your clients, that's something that will be very important and could actually lead to really good reputation building and sense of trust from your customers in you. But certainly there's a feeling of wanting to expand. It could be that you relocate for work as well. There could be travel related to work, but certainly there are growth opportunities. And this is something to be taken advantage of. And this lasts until the 10th of October. But in late August, we have Saturn sextiling Jupiter, which basically adds an element of grounding to this energy. So it's not just pure good luck. It's actually, Saturn helps to ground this energy. So if there's anything that wants crystallizing, then that might occur around late August. It could be that the promotion is decided upon and it's confirmed by later August. It could be that the move for work is decided upon by late August. But certainly there's something that starts to crystallize and really form a solid foundation at that point. Hi Aquarius, Jupiter is now going direct in your 9th house. The house that it naturally rules, the house that is naturally ruled by Sagittarius. So this is all about breadth of vision, expansion, adventure, and seeing the bigger picture. And on some level, Aquarius, you are seeing the bigger picture. You are expanding your worldview, and belief systems have probably shifted quite a bit for you. And, you know, Aquariuses, you are known for being humanitarian and quite open-minded, but this is a real shift, a real deep shift. You've probably been rethinking things, thinking about your belief systems, your attitudes to the world, to people, how that affects your partnerships, how that affects how you show up in the world as well. And so this has maybe been under review. Something could have triggered this. It could be that something Sagittarian related has triggered this, whether it be traveling to another country and it's opened your eyes up a bit, or moving, or higher education, or encountering somebody who has interesting beliefs and they've opened your mind to a different way of seeing the world. It could even be that you encountered a Sagittarian and that's made you shift the way you see things. It's affected you. So this is a really positive thing. It's actually making you grow more into a true Aquarian. And with this, you're likely to feel a sense of expansion, of growth, and of wanting to grow, you know, going willingly towards new pastures. And there's certainly a freedom that comes with this new outlook that you have on life, and I think you would probably be finding it quite refreshing yourself. At the same time, of course, we've got travel that can be great for you right now. Education, higher education, travel, any training, anything that's going to take you out of your comfort zone and test you as an individual would be fantastic for you to learn about yourself, learn about the world around you. Any legal and professional advice that you can get is very favoured now, likely to go your way and go very smoothly, and you're likely to get the answers that you need. As well as this, you know, we have Saturn in Sagittarius, which speaks about truth. It's about us no longer talking the talk, but also walking the walk as well. And so it seems like you've been getting to the truth of the matter to a certain extent. You've been understanding in whatever way, perhaps because Jupiter is in Libra, perhaps in partnerships and one-to-one relationships, you actually have been getting to the truth of perhaps what's held you back in your relationships, or the truth of what you actually want from a relationship. And you're thinking about big picture in terms of partnership. And this is whether you're with somebody or not, you're thinking about big picture. And I mean, you might be wanting to travel abroad and experiment with dating people of different cultures if you're single. People who are likely to come into your life at the moment as well are likely to be of a mentoring quality. And, you know, you could have very good conversation with people who can give you insight into things that perhaps you hadn't thought about before. It's a great time for coming across just gurus, teachers, mentors, that kind of thing. So all in all, this is a really great time for you, Aquarius, and this lasts until the 10th of October. So enjoy, and then we'll be going into Scorpio, where things get a little bit deeper and a little bit more intimate. Hi Pisces, Jupiter going direct in your 8th house. There's probably been a lot of reflection for you on a deep internal level, and Sagittarius, or Jupiter rather, it's about truth. And there may have been, you might have found the courage on some level to really face some truths within yourself and really open up. And you might be coming out of this retrograde period with a better sense of who you are, knowing who you are better. And now with Jupiter moving forward, this is a time when you are more willing to share that deeper, intimate part of yourself with others. Conversations on very deep and personal matters may come about, and there is growth in intimate relationships. There's growth to be had, and there's opportunity to explore one another more, which is a lovely aspect. And if you're single, there's opportunity there to explore yourself more. This is about diving deep, and Jupiter expands what it touches. So in a sense, the deepest part of yourself is being expanded, so that if anything needs to be purged, you can do that. And you should be able to see it with a certain amount of clarity, because like I said, Jupiter is about truth, Sagittarius is about truth. Also Saturn being in Sagittarius, that's a very truth kind of centered placement. So you should be able to get to the truth of anything that's been blocking you on an emotional or psychological level. And this can be a great time as well if you are interested in those professions, psychology, or anything to do with the occult, anything that's hidden, investigation. This would be a really good time if you have a career in anything related to that. You might find that you get an increase of clients, or that your popularity suddenly through word of mouth spreads because of your reputation. You could also find yourself gaining inheritance or gaining money through partnerships, from shared resources, especially, we're talking about Jupiter and Libra here in your 8th house, so partnerships feature a lot here. So you might benefit from money that your partner makes or comes into. You may benefit from an inheritance or family money, like I said, and you might be asked to manage wealth for people. It might be a good time as well for you to manage your own wealth. This can also be a great time to build wealth of your own, but especially in partnership with somebody else. That's extremely favoured. Just remember, Jupiter in Libra is all about being fair, being equal, and being high-minded. So, you know, just play your cards right and be open and honest and make sure all your dealings are fair and right and just, and Jupiter will bless you with a lot of good luck. I know, Pisces, you're such a giving sign that you wouldn't do anything less. This is about metamorphosis though, and it really is about transformation on the most profound level. So this is going to go on until October, and then we face Jupiter going into Pisces, where again it's about, going into Scorpio, where again it's about intimacy. It's in a sister sign to you, it's a fellow water sign. So you should be comfortable with this. This is almost like Jupiter in the 8th house right now is almost like the training ground for you, and by the time it goes into Scorpio in October, you'll be pretty comfortable there. You'll have a head start on all of us.